What's up and good morning, guys? Welcome back to another video. We are, of course, back on the Round Ranch entrance project here and just doing a little survey from the last rain, but I think I gotta say, all the drainage wells that we've cut previously seem to have worked. The last 2 days we've had probably more rain than the first rainstorm that came through and flooded all the way up to the guest house like you can see right there. But aside from a little bit of wetness, I think we finally got the water issue figured out here. There's another one down by the driveway we'll probably talk about at some point in this video, but for now we got this figured out. Oh, we got Mike back?
Yeah, we got Mike back.
We got Mike back?
Yes.
All right. What do we got? Some glue on the wall?
We're gluing. Get a little bit of uniform, gluing because this is painted. Okay. Remember, whenever you do restucco, if they tell you don't have to paint, don't glue it if it's painted. It's clear line. Always have to glue when it's painted. There you go.
Now, if you guys remember from the previous video, Mike said he ain't gonna leave me with just a little patch around the door. He's gonna end up, yeah, he's gonna recolor this whole wall here. That way, at least texture-wise, everything looks the same.
Yep.
Gracias, Cosme.
And I did some chemistry stuff with 3 different colors.
Okay.
To get as close as I could. That way, we're not looking bad to your paint, you know.
Yeah.
Not gonna be perfect, right now.
So yeah, if you guys remember, the whole plan is to eventually paint the outside of the building, but we know that's probably gonna be held off for a while. The priority is getting inside done. Then we'll come worry about the outside. So Mike didn't want us looking like crap for a while with some gray stucco. So pretty close color there.
Yeah.
I think by the time it dries.
Lighten up a little bit.
Yeah. It's good.
The only thing is you'll see is where it does run into the existing, it'll lighten, it'll whiten because it's, you know.
Where it dries
right.
out.
My feathers in.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing about it, but the color itself, mind you, should be pretty close. You can tell the color is a lot soupier than the scratch and brown. This is the 2030 aggregate that I was referring to, thinner sand. You can see it. If you guys remember the thicker stuff, which you can still see a little bit under the glue.
So what Mike's talking about again is basically the size of the sand that's in there. We can see right here how it's a lot coarser, and so it looks a lot rougher when finished. Versus if you come over here, this is old stuff. You can see it's a lot finer, so it's smoother when they go to trowel it out.
Remember, Home Depot guys probably aren't real plasterers. Thompson Building Materials, like 6 locations, Federal Boulevard, open 7 days a week, so don't let them tell you it's not open Saturday and Sundays. Ask for Derek, he's the boss.
There you go.
So Mike Marshall sent you.
Inside is probably like the bigger news of the day, other than the color code on the outside looks great. But we got Lehigh, who answered my call for a motor taper. I couldn't y'all are hard to come by.
Now I forgot my measurements.
Oh, jeez. Lehigh's also doing a little swap there on a piece of drywall that we saw was like a little boat out there. So we're going through doing all of our final touches, getting all the corner beam put on. I'm more of a squared corner drywall type of guy. I don't like, you know, basically bullnose corners, which is what you're seeing right here. But being that everything already is bullnosed, like the soffit behind me, changing everything over to squared off corners at this point, it just didn't make sense. So I'll live with it, even though I don't really live here. So it's not that big a deal to me. We're gonna bullnose all the corners. So as you can see, like right here in the shower, like every corner in here is bullnose, or it has this radius to it, versus just being squared off, which to me is a more contemporary, more modern look. It's what I prefer. But we'd have to rip all the corner bead off of every single corner in here, which isn't that big of a deal, but just more time, more money that, you know, we don't need to put into this place. Lehigh's filling the gap over here.
Yeah.
We had to shrink this door opening just a little bit.
Gotta make it look pretty.
There you go. So Lehigh, what got you into drywall?
Straight out of high school, 1998.
Okay.
Out of high school, I went into wall design was a company and I stuck with it ever since.
There you go.
2008, the economy took a dive. They laid me off, so I went to go get my license, and I've been doing it on my own since 2009.
Nice.
And little by little, every year, it's been getting better and better.
There you go.
Keep my guys busy all year long, so can't ask for more, man.
So being that I know how hard it is to come by a good drywaller, I'm assuming if you're a halfway decent drywaller, you're gonna be busy like crazy.
Yeah, we stay busy. Thank God we stay busy. The guys are always busy, so I can't ask for more.
So if you're looking to get into a trade, it's a good one. I mean,
I am hiring. Yeah.
Lehigh's hiring. There you go.
Yeah. Always looking for someone.
Nice. Look at that. It's like there was never a hole there.
Never a hole. Once you paint it, you'll never know there was a hole. Like I'm saying, it might seem like a subtle thing, but the sand, the aggregate makes a huge difference, you know?
Right.
You have to match the existing. You have to have some skill.
Well, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is like you're relying on that guy's hand.
Exactly.
You're trying to mimic the guy before you's hand on how he laid down the texture.
And I'll be honest with you, not to be boastful, sometimes the hardest thing to do is some guy's really bad texture. Because you're like, do that. I know you don't want to, do that.
Right.
But yeah, and the texture is all pressure on your finger. That's why most plasters have a really bad finger. Okay. So it's just pressure, lighter, heavier, lighter. And my son over there will come and detail clean you, which is also important.
There you go.
I tell people all the time, dude, you could do the best job in the whole world, best house. But if you have a mess, it's not your human instinct as a homeowner to walk up and be like, Jesus Christ, you ruined my yard, the water hose, the tree.
Right.
And God, look at this. And then they start nitpicking stuff. No, not that. Oh, he's licking the stuff.
Well, he's got to taste test it, Maya. He's the inspector. Bubs, we don't eat stucco. Come on, let's go. You guys would be amazed. I've learned goats will eat literally everything other than what you want them to. Come on. Look at all these weeds in here, and you're gonna eat stucco. So let everybody know the trick. I've always called it skip trowel, but you're calling it lace.
Light lace texture.
Light lace.
Yep. Then you have like a heavier lace. You have a cat face. You have your smooth. You have your sand finish.
The trick here is to barely get any mud on the edge of the trowel there, huh?
Honestly, when the walls are still a little wet, like right now, the weather is not conducive for it to really dry up. When it's drier, you can put a little bit more pressure and stuff. But when it's wet like this, it's not so much wet, it's just not completely dry. You have to be really light fingered because any heavy pressure will pancake it.
Gotcha.
So you really have to get light on it, and then even when you knock it down, just really light.
Okay, so you come through right now, you spread it, and then you come back and hard trowel over it, right?
Right, exactly. Ideally, you'd want the wall probably about 70% dry underneath. That way the texture just rolls out. But when it's, like I said, a little wet like this, you can tell stucco's wet because it's shiny a little bit. Yeah, I think the 40-degree weather today is not really doing anybody any favors. Now the drywall guys are kind of worried about the drywall mud drying in time to actually like texture this in the next couple of days. So grabbed one of the old space heaters here. We're gonna run this up to the guest house. But before we do, check this out. Check out this piece I had commissioned. I'll pull up her Instagram right now and show you guys. And don't mind, we're still kind of tearing down all the Christmas stuff, but check out this super sick bull skull. Hopefully it shows up cool on there, but it's all glass and crystals and mirrors. The thing is super sick and an awesome centerpiece here. Again, the tree's obviously not gonna be here, but an awesome centerpiece to the ranch there. We're rocking the Breakfast of Champions today. Some tricks in a cup, you know, they say tricks are for kids, but I think tricks are for rhinos. Enjoy me some good cereal in a cup like a 5-year-old. Alrighty, y'all. Well, the stucco is all complete and is looking absolutely awesome. So stoked to see all these holes sealed up on the house. And that's gonna come major in handy right now because we've got our second space heater here and we're actually gonna be bringing a third here in a little bit. We gotta get this drywall mud to dry. The drywallers are actually already gone. And let me show you guys kind of the front of the house here. Hold on, let me take a little step back. Look at that. Oh. So excited. Being that we're all insulated in here, it's actually decently warm in here now that the doors are closed and it's not open with the drywallers running in and out. But basically today what they did is they mudded and taped. So all the seams are taped. All of the screws are mudded. And now it's a waiting game. Let's see, let's touch this a little bit and see if we're still super, super wet. Unfortunately, drywall mud does not like to dry when it's cold. So we're gonna try and heat this place up as best we can. Because there's really nothing these guys can do until all this is dry. Well, I've changed outfits here. I've kind of layered up, jacket on beanie. Still, you know, gotta rock the shorts though. That might change quickly, but I'm gonna take you guys down to the gate now that we have some time. All the drywallers are done, everything's done. And we're gonna try to jet the culvert pipe that's over there. When I was setting up this pressure washer setup here, I bought this pressure washer hose. It's a 100-foot hose and it's actually technically sewer jetting hose. So it came with, I think it came with another nozzle too, but this is the only one I could find. And I don't know what this nozzle does. I'm assuming it shoots backwards based on like this little copper piece here or brass that moves. I'm gonna get this set up right now and give it a little test and see what it does. But there's a chance we're gonna use this to jet out the culvert pipe down at the gate because, I mean, it's actually starting to rain right now, but we got more rain coming. And that culvert pipe, it's toast right now until we get it cleared out. Also, I don't know if this little guy's been on the channel yet. Hey, where you going? So everybody, we kind of inherited this cat. He just showed up one day and hasn't really left. He's super cool though. He's built like a bulldog though. He's got these big old front upper shoulders. If you'll walk back this way,
you'll see. So I named him Boop because I'm allergic to cats. So I can't really pet him like he wants to do. Is just kind of boop his nose if he'll let me. Oh, okay, well, all right. You just do, right, boop. There we go. As you can see, he is clearly warmed up to us pretty well. So we got the quick release tip off here of the pressure washer hose, and check out these super sweet pliers that I found. There's kind of like a catch-all junk drawer left here for the previous owners. They had a bunch of little tools and stuff in it. And I was too lazy to walk out to my truck, and I'm like, I bet there's a pair of pliers in there. I didn't think we'd find the sickest pair of pliers ever. Look at that bad boy right there. Pull out a little bit of hose here from my homemade hose reel. Hook up our quick connect to the old Ryobi. See what this looks like here for, oh jeez. Okay, that all shoots directly back at you. I'm literally standing right in the center of all of these streams right now, and I just happen to be holding this perfect. I'm kind of scared to turn this on now. Like, I'm gonna get this far away from me. What's gonna happen? I feel like this thing's gonna take off like a rocket as soon as I like turn the pressure washer on. Let's turn the power on. Whoa! Oh! That's what we're talking about. I don't know how to do that without getting drenched though. I guess we just get it as far in the pipe as we can. All right, I'm kind of excited. This thing works great. We should probably turn the water off here. Kind of scared to hook that up to a gas pressure washer. Now we're gonna jump in the single cab, and am I wearing a hat and a beanie? Yes, I am, because my GoPro hat clip doesn't really work on a beanie. So this is a sacrifice I have to make to film these videos. And I also gotta climb in the passenger side of the single cab, because I think I have an eternal hatred for the person that designed the door lock mechanisms. I have had the worst luck with them. This door right now is just completely from outside or inside. It just doesn't want to open. Now we got to drive over to pick up a gas pressure washer, but I caught something out of the corner of my eye, and that is an animal that has apparently made a break for it and is not on our side of the fence like he should be. We're gonna go get him. Look at here. You guys can't see him right now because he's behind a tree, but he already looks guilty. You guys can probably see him right there. Ugh, screw it, I'm sick of climbing over. We're going Dukes of Hazzard style here. What are you doing out there, buddy? You live on this side of the fence. Now what's crazy about Willie is Willie's just like a dog. So if you guys ever have had a dog that escaped, but they always come home. So Willie is that dog. So even though he gets out, he knows he's supposed to be here. I actually just got an alert at our driveway a couple minutes ago saying Willie was standing at our front gate. And Willie's smart enough to know that even though he's getting out like he's not supposed to be, he knows where to come home, and he always tries to come back in the front gate. So it is cool, we get a nice alert. Willie, we can't be doing that, buddy. Were you getting everything prepped for us to go sewer jet? You were? All right, Willie was just helping us. Now, unfortunately, sometimes when the winds come whipping through, it knocks a lot of the old fence boards off, and that's how the donkeys can get out. It's super rare, but unfortunately, it does happen. All right, gas pressure washer. Let's grab this bad boy. Clearly, she has seen a little bit of dust. All right, so welcome to this mess. Let me give you guys a little rundown of kind of the issues we've been having down here at the old driveway and the old culvert pipe, which is right there. And it didn't look like that about 12 hours ago. I had to unearth this thing because every time it rains, obviously the water kind of travels this way down the edge of the property. It drops right here. It's supposed to drop into that culvert pipe, cross over this driveway. It ties into our bigger culvert pipe, which runs it underneath the new driveway. And while if it can make it to the new culvert pipe, which is significantly bigger, it does great. Our problem lies right here at the most important part, which is the entrance to the old culvert pipe. So like I said, you know, last night after the rainstorm from the day before, all of this DG sand mud mix was about that high, and I actually had to come through here with the Mini X last night, just kind of unearth this, just so I could even see where it was and kind of evaluate it. And the reason it's so bad when that thing's plugged is the water fills up very quickly, and then comes out of this trench where the water's supposed to stay, goes in front of the old driveway right there and just washes that thing out. I'm talking like almost 2 feet down. It takes out the dirt to where you almost need four-wheel drive to cross that, and you definitely don't want to try and do it in a car or you will rip your front bumper off. So I filled this in last night just so, you know, everybody coming and going today wouldn't mess their vehicles up. But I'll give you guys kind of a little idea of what happens when that old culvert pipe doesn't work. And you can see right here, this big old pit that opened up because all the water is now bypassing the culvert pipe. Number one, we got to get material in that. We got to fill that back in. But most important is we got to try and clear that pipe up. So when this next batch of rain comes, we actually have a fighting chance of getting the water out. And I don't think that thing got plugged on the last rainstorm. I think it's been getting plugged over the last couple, and it's never really had a chance to work properly. The last time I put a bunch of rocks in front of it to try and catch some of the debris, it's just this layer of sand and DG, which you can see lining the bottom of the trench that I dug the other day to get all the water out of here. There's just so much material kind of getting moved around. We got to start moving here. I grabbed us a couple of tools to try and dig that out manually as we're running water through it. I got us a hoe, for show. I got us a harpoon. I don't know. Found a lot of random gardening tools around here. I don't know why, but I feel like for some reason I needed a piece of copper pipe. So I grabbed that too. Do a little test and see if we can see how far in the clog is. But I don't think we're, well, yeah. Oh, there we go. We got about that far before we hit a wall of this stuff. So this is gonna get interesting and very, very messy. Get everything hooked up here, get the pressure washer out. Hopefully we got enough fuel in her. I took this adapter off the Ryobi and put it on here, so we should be able to mate everything up to my jetting hose, which is in here. Good news is we got 100 feet of this, so assuming we can get this to go down there straight, we got enough hose. I'm genuinely nervous about how much pressure is going to come out of that tip, so I think we can throttle this down a little bit. All right, the snake is uncoiling. We got water coming down here. Our jetter is a splashing. Now I did find some cleaning gloves in there, so I feel like you know, having not wet hands when it's, in my opinion, freezing cold out here would be nice. Days like today, it would be nice to have somebody else out here to help run the throttle on the pressure washer while I'm down here getting splashed and sprayed, but you work with what you got. And I only got a me. Okay, I'm just gonna put the, that didn't take long. I'm just gonna put this in the hole right now. Why we only got one jet? Maybe that thing's supposed to spin? I don't really know what's going on here. Maybe the other ones are clogged already. I do wish it had a forward jet. I feel like a forward jet would be like more necessary at this point, but I don't know. Maybe later we'll just take this tip off and shove it down in there and try and wet everything up, but let's see. We'll put a rock on it because I don't trust that it's not gonna go flying out of here. And well, let's make some noise. If she'll start. Oh, we got some pressure, guys. We got some pressure. Oh, we're jetting. Oh, geez. Okay, okay. I think we're already making good headway. This thing, like, with a jet spray that way, it pulls it in, so that's good. It's like walking its way in. Come on, booger. We'll know when we're free and clear when this puddle goes away. I just realized I forgot my gloves. It's a lot less messy than I anticipated. Oh, we might have done it. Oh, no, maybe not, maybe not. Now, hopefully you guys can hear me. I know the pressure washer is loud. And I think these are women's-sized gloves, but come on, booger. Get on there. Let's keep doing some jetting. All right, guys, we had to shut it off for a second. It got hung up on that side, and there's just no way it wants to go in, but hopefully you guys can hear through all of that. But this thing's actually really cool because these nozzles actually help propel it in. So I was worried I wasn't gonna be able to push it in because it wasn't gonna be rigid enough and it was gonna fight the clog, but this thing actually propels itself. Like, if you let go of it, it would probably travel all the way down this culvert pipe if it was open. The old broken piece is kind of getting in the way here. All right, you go straight in there. All the way down. I feel like we're making really good progress. We've got to be at least, I don't know, maybe to here it feels like. Let's get the pressure washer fired back up. And let's keep fighting clogs. I'm gonna grab a handful from inside the pipe right now. That's what's inside the pipe. That is some thick stuff right there. Oh, the hose is kind of kinked on itself. See if I can spin it without getting sprayed. There we go, there we go. Maybe. Not gonna lie, I wish I had like a remote control for this setup here. Let's see how much it's spraying at like a low idle. I feel like it's still a lot. Oh, I'm getting suctioned into this mud right here. Oh yeah, okay, she still sprays a good amount. Let's shove our harpoon in there and see how far this thing goes. Oh no, we're about that far. There's still a big clog up in there, so I'm gonna try and break it up a little bit with the harpoon and maybe help out the jetter. And it is starting to rain. I don't know if you can see that on camera. All right, let's do a little double action here. Harpoon and jetter, double fisted. Man, that clog is stubborn and thick. I can feel it. The problem is it just keeps pumping that out. These gloves aren't doing a whole lot. All right, guys, we need a plan B here. So this thing's starting to kind of coil itself up inside of there. Oh geez, I forgot the water's still on. I think I'm gonna try to attach this to something rigid, like that copper pipe that I knew I would need for something, and then see if we can shove it in further. But for now, you just stay there, water. And yeah, these gloves didn't do a whole lot. Alrighty, y'all, welcome to the Rhino Rooter 3000. So I didn't have any tape in the truck. Used what I had, just had some tie wire. So tie wired on my hose here, tie wired on our jetting end to this piece of copper pipe. Give this a shot. Good news is though, we got some sunshine. We got a little break in the weather, so we got a minute. And the time it took me to build this, the water that was in there has slowly drained out through the pipe, which means we're making progress because that wasn't happening earlier. Now I'm gonna preload this into the hole again because I don't feel like getting splashed and attacked. You guys aren't gonna believe this. So I was getting it in there and I'm like, man, there's just either the pipe has collapsed, something weird is happening in there, like there's concrete in there, something's keeping this from flowing. It might just be like that the pipe's compromised. And I finally got past it. I'm like, okay, there's a spot in the pipe that there's a concrete or a rock in or something. We're just gonna have to accept the fact that at some point we're cutting this open and replacing this. But then I used my Rhino Rooter 3000 and I was able to slowly start yanking this thing back, and I can't make this up. Look at what I just found. I still haven't fully got it dislodged. Inside the pipe here. Oh, and it's gonna suction in real strong there. Like, what in the chances? You gotta be kidding me. What are the odds that that booger right there somehow got crunched up to fit exactly in this pipe? Now, I ain't gonna say there's a conspiracy theory, there's some shenanigans going on, but how in the heck? Like, this is a thick dog bowl. I don't know if this is the one that we saw on the side of the driveway like 5 days ago when we were filming, but can somebody explain to me how this thing got crushed up so perfectly to fit inside this little diameter pipe? Like, you couldn't get that in that pipe if you tried without fighting it, but somehow rain did? How I was able to pull this out, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm willing to bet we're gonna have some good water flow after this. I don't really get surprised a whole lot, but what the heck are the odds? The gods are shining upon us right now, and I'm so relieved that we figured out what the drain issue was without actually having to tear this out yet. Obviously, we're gonna upsize this at some point, but the only problem now is the second this stuff like doesn't have a bunch of water flowing it out of here, it'll immediately turn into like a suction-y quicksand and it'll just glob up. So it takes a giant volume of water to run this stuff all the way through the pipe and out of here. I wish I had 2 hoses that I can run over here right now to have the Rhino Rooter 3000 breaking all the stuff up, and then 1 regular garden hose actually just pushing volume of water, because obviously a pressure washer, it's more pressure than volume. But if we had another hose running here, that would carry it all the way through. But I think we'll manage here now that there's no freaking crushed up dog bowl in the way. Let's go do a little check here on the other end of the culvert pipe. The new one, the bigger one. And things are looking good, guys. Things are looking good. We've got water flowing. This is the size of pipe this whole thing should have been, at the very least. Hopefully now we can save that from happening. Now I've got the regular garden hose in there, again going for some volume of water just to fully clean that pipe out, but I think we are absolutely good to go there. And I found a little piece of the pipe that's underneath the driveway right now, so that's about the diameter of it. That's the dog bowl. Granted, the end that's over there is already like super crushed up, but this plus mud, I mean, if this is the dog bowl that was on the side of the driveway, it was a perfectly round dog bowl, not smushed, not crushed. How it got crushed up into the right size to fit into that culvert pipe, I have absolutely no idea. For those of you that are probably gonna say it, no, I did not grab this with the Mini X. So yeah, I don't know. We gotta give credit where credit is due though, guys. The Rhino Rooter 3000 here definitely saved the day. If any plumbing companies out there are looking for a new piece of equipment, say the Rhino Rooter 3000 right here for only 2 payments, $1,999. And if you clicked on this video because you have a similar issue, so that jetting tip plus the 100 feet of jetting hose, which is what I put in this hose reel, I found it all on Amazon for like 40 bucks. It wasn't much. I never thought I was gonna use this jetting tip. I honestly thought I had lost it. Now our work's not done here though. We still gotta get all of this muck and sludge up out of the way here. There is concrete here, as well as concrete on top of the pipe. But keeping all of this sludge out of it is gonna be tricky. Getting the concrete as clean as we can. Then I'm gonna find as many rocks about this size as I can to kind of pile up right here where all of the sediment kind of hits. We'll hold it all back to where hopefully just water reaches the pipe. And we're not fighting this anymore. Oh man, we are looking good, guys. So you can see I've cleaned everything off. You can see all the existing concrete that was there to kind of make a drainage swell to lead everything to that pipe. Now, obviously over time, dirt, mud, muck, DG, leaves, weeds, whatever grew over top of that. This is probably the cleanest it's been in a very, very long time. Everything seems to be flowing great, which is awesome. So we fixed any clog issues, but now we got to be able to prevent that from happening again in the future. I don't have like the ideal solution right now. And if any of you guys got better ideas, you know, let me know. Whether that be like a box that goes over top of this, like that catches the sediment, even though keep in mind, we have so much of it that comes to this corner of the property. Now that being said, I've started to pile up some rocks right there because the water kind of trails along that edge of the wall right there. So I think I'm gonna just build like a, well, dry riverbed for now. Eventually it's gonna be a very wet riverbed. And just continue to stack rocks up along here. And hopefully that's enough to catch a lot of the sediment. Granted, eventually that's just gonna clog up and it's gonna go over top. I'm assuming that's how it works in my brain. So you'll see, assuming water comes in from right there where the rocks are. Just give it a second to build up here. But it's gonna swirl around. You'll see it kind of goes there and it swirls down into the drain. Well, we're gonna need to put something along that edge right there because the concrete ends about right where the water is right there. And basically, if it continues to swirl, it's just gonna pull dirt and stuff off of that edge. Now, I might take just some of the concrete block that I have here and just stack them right there. It's a little ghetto, but you know, it works. Now, this morning started off as a race against the rain. Granted, hasn't really shown up today, thankfully, but now we're playing against the sun going down. Not that we can't work in the Mini X, thanks to our sweet, beautiful lights we got up there once it gets dark, but filming wise, it doesn't look very good in the dark. All right, now the only way in there is this little opening I found in the gate here. Hopefully you guys can see, there's a little curb they built right there out of some stone that they kind of just stacked on edge. And I'd like to climb over that and not destroy it. So let's see if we can pull that off while trying to squeeze in this tight area, while trying not to break this gate apart because this gate's already really struggling here. I'm not super confident because we got this pine tree that's really in our way here, but we're gonna try and pick us up. We're gonna track in. Whoa, 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 gotta go a little further than that. All right, let's put our blade as far down as it'll go. Hopefully the blade will hold us up here until we can cross over. Oof, tight squeeze. right, now we're gonna pick up from this side. We're kind of really in this pine tree here. Hopefully we crossed far enough over. I'm gonna guess we did not. We're sitting on the curb right now like this. Now we're gonna crawl backwards while booming out. Might have to lower us down a little bit. All right, we might not have had to do that at all because none of that budged and we were sitting on that little curb. Pretty impressive what a little mortar can do. This is where having a skid steer would come in handy. Now we're getting them tossed over the fence here. Hopefully out of the way so we can cross back over. All right, so I'm gonna start with the smaller rocks first. Get these placed more towards kind of the outlet here. Kind of hard to see with this wall in the way. Let's see if we stand out here. We can see a little better. We can always move these around once they're in place. Well, that's about all the rock I could find close by enough to get over here without having to, load a truck bed or something like that. But I think we got a pretty decent shot here of the water running through here. I mean, that's a solid 6-7 feet of pretty heavy, dense rock to hopefully catch all that crap. And then we just have nice water that comes down, goes through our drain. We should probably cut that right now. Now, before it gets too dark, let's regrade all this road right here and get everything all nice and looking good. Further here, but we got at least the entryway done so we can drive over it again and it's not giant rutted and all kinds of crazy. Tomorrow we're gonna deal with the other end where most of it kind of washed away, especially considering like I'd like this dirt to dry out a little bit more. It's starting to get really spongy, which means I'm gonna put it all down, and then the second we drive over it, it's just gonna end up leaving a giant rut and not be able to be compacted. As much as I thought we were gonna get it all done today, we're gonna come back in the morning. I'm just glad we got that drain unclogged. I'm so happy about that. So see you guys in the morning. Alrighty, y'all. Well, it's raining a lot more than I thought it would be this morning. It actually rained a good bit last night, which is good because it's going to be able to show us, if our new solution is working. That being said, though, one of the joys of living on a ranch, not only is it 24/7 work, you can see, with having to fix drains and water and flooding and yada, 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 but you also got animals. And well, when it rains, again, the donkeys like to come hang out at the front door, and that's what you get to walk out to in the morning. We'll get this cleaned up. The other thing is the donkeys have found a new taste, sensation, I don't really know. This one I'm genuinely pissed about, and that is, you guys, all of you lined up right here, have apparently decided to eat the house. I don't know why. We've been here for over a year, and apparently now is the time they want to start eating the house. And it's not just this post. It's that post. It's that post. It's that post. It's that post. Yeah. Thanks, donkeys. We're gonna have to come up with a solution to fix this because these are expensive posts. They're nice posts. They're like brand new posts. I threw some cayenne pepper on them just in the meantime to hopefully stop them from wanting to chew on it, but I don't really think they care. Regardless though, let's go see how our water situation is doing. So we definitely have water flowing. It's a little drainage way that we cut the other day. You can see right there, you know, there's active water moving. It's not a giant flood like it was the other day, but I think it's definitely enough water to show us if our setup's gonna work or not. I think we're looking pretty good. You can see the water flowing back through there. It's kind of getting filtered out through the rocks here. Again, I'm sure at some point it's just gonna build up and fill in. Like you can kind of see, I don't know what that weird foaminess is right there, but looks like the water's coming down. It's hitting the concrete block that we put in, which is nice to kind of get the little swirl going in right there. I'm pretty happy with this, guys. I think we might have like solved this for the time being until we can upsize that culvert pipe. It's a little too wet today to try and fix the rest of the driveway area right there without it just getting super spongy. So we're gonna do that tomorrow, but I'm glad to see this works. I gotta run into town. We got a bunch of stuff we gotta get and purchase for the guest house. So with that, we're gonna wrap up. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you've not subscribed already, please click the subscribe button now so you do not miss out on any future content. And don't forget to give this video a like and get a thumbs up. And we can check out workforapparel.com because if there's anything you want in this life, you gotta be willing to work for it. You guys are the best. I'm out.
Damn. Yeah. Yeah.